Alright people, tomorrow I'm going to be going over to a local pond, do a little largemouth bass fishing, and over here in Ontario, the regulations for bass fishing, now you're not just largemouth bass, but you know, black bass, just largemouth and smallmouth, we don't have any spots up here. It's a little different than a lot of you guys have it over in, whether it's New York, Illinois, or you know, wherever you're fishing in the US. Here in southern Ontario, most of it at least, we can't go after bass until the fourth Saturday in June. And the thing that sucks about that is in spring, it would probably be one of the best times to fish for bass, because you know, when you're bluegill fishing or perch fishing, bullhead fishing in the springtime at these ponds, you can see bass beds all over the place, you know, and the weeds at this pond are really cut down, so it makes you'd be able to fish a squarebill crankbait a lot easier, or a spinnerbait a lot easier. Today is the 10th of July, and I'm gonna go over there and do some fishing tomorrow. The pond that I'm going to, it's a pretty weedy pond this time of year. If you go there in the springtime, the weeds are, you know, pretty much all done, and it makes the fishing not just for, you know, bullheads, but then you can fish, there's you know, we got all sorts of panfish in there, and you know, whether it's perch, bluegills, pumpkin seed, whatever, we get them all in there. But the weeds this time of year get in really thick, and it's a funny pond. It's a really weird, it's a weird pond, because what there is you have really thick weeds on the bank, and the farther you go out into the middle of the pond, there's still thick weeds, but the water starts to get shallower and shallower out on this point that I'll be showing you tomorrow. So the best ways to fish and the best places to fish are the edges of the weed lines, and the deeper water. There's one area where there's water that goes, I think it gets about 15 to 16 feet deep. I have measured it. Some of my favorite ways to fish the weed lines, subsurface and on the surface. Well, a subsurface technique is a squarebill square lip crankbait right here. This is a KVD 1.5 in a nice pumpkin seed pattern. I really like to match the hatch when I'm using crankbaits, especially because in this pond there's lots of bluegill, lots of pumpkin seed, sunfish. Along weed lines, you can get down in the weed lines, and especially on cloudy and sunny days, but especially cloudy days. Tomorrow's going to be sunny, but I shouldn't have any problem catching. The fish will sit in those weeds and ambush from the weeds out, especially on a cloudy day when, you know, there's like next to no light penetration. And tomorrow when we bring them out there, the frog and the squarebill, and maybe you might try a spinnerbait or even a yum dinger, something like that. I'll show you how I work these, why I work them the way I do, and where to work them. We'll see you tomorrow. So I made it down. Like I said last night, we try that square over here and just work the weed line.
Now, like I said earlier in the video, transitions are one of my favorite places to fish, simply because they give the fish an area to relate to, provide them with cover and structure, and also allow them to ambush their prey much easier. In this case, I was fishing a weed line, one of my favorite transitions to fish, simply because any bait can be fished along it, whether it's a crankbait, a soft plastic, a spinnerbait, a swim bait, or a topwater. And as you can see, it didn't take long for me to get bit.
Right on that weed line, like I was saying. That's a nice fish right there. God, ever a nice fish. See, just like I was saying, right on this weed line right here, I was working it down the edge of that weed line, and what there is here is a transition between, you can see surface weed, oh that's a nice one, and subsurface weed. That's a nice quality fish right there. Beautiful. You get him back. And I'm using that bait that I showed you last night. And there's a lot of bluegill and pumpkin seed in here, and that's exactly what that's imitating. Let this guy go. Let him go. Woo! That was fun. It's been a little while since I've caught a fish on a square bill. I just bought this a couple days ago. Like I said, what I was doing is I'm casting the square bill along this weed line right here. There's a fish racing over there. And there could be a few more fish in there. But weed lines are always my favorite places to fish. When I'm fishing a weedy lake, of course, for largemouth especially. And the thing that's so great about weed lines that I explained before is that on a sunny day like this, those fish are going to be sitting down deep in those weed lines, and they're going to ambush from those weed lines out. And that's exactly what I was doing. I'm fishing, what's this, 15-pound test? So this bait's only getting down maybe 4 feet. But I'm fishing along that weed line that goes down to, 10 feet. Off that weed line, the water drops down to about 10 feet. I'm fishing this right on the edge. And that rattle's going, I'm giving it a little twitch. Right after I gave it a little twitch, that fish saw the bait and he hammered it. He absolutely hammered it. Man, I haven't even been here 10 minutes. That was fun. So we're going to keep fishing these weed lines, see if we can come up with anything else.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video today. I know it's been a while since I've put up a video, and this is actually the first bass fishing video I've ever put up. I do a lot of bass fishing. I just haven't had too much time to actually record my trips, but now that I have a GoPro, I'll be recording basically everything. I have a few trips from like a week or two ago that I haven't uploaded yet. Those are going to be up soon. I got some pretty nice fish for you guys, and a few more tips, especially on most of all my favorite bait to use for bass, which is topwater frogs. But we'll get to all that later. I hope you liked this video. If you did, and it would be good. It would be cool if you could just give it a like. If you didn't, go ahead and dislike it. Whatever you want to do, just give me some feedback. If you have any questions, leave a comment or inbox me. And yeah, good luck fishing, guys. See you next time.
Get ready.